Welcome to the annual general meeting of Trowbridge Canvas Club. Everybody's got a copy of the agenda, I presume, apart from yourself, Graham.
Yes.
Right. So I will read out the agenda items as I go. So they're there for you. Yep. It's a sort of standard of agenda, so nothing too much out of the ordinary. The first.
Yes, I've seen that.
Yeah. The first thing is apologies. We've got an apology from Brian and Bridget. Bridget said that at the best of times her Zoom meeting is not particularly good, and they've got a very flaky internet at the moment, so she'll catch up on the recording. So that's Brian and Bridget. No other apologies from anyone. So there we go.
Is that better? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, yep. That's better, Nick.
Okay, I swapped my headset. The headset, I think these have died. Okay.
Yeah, that's much better. Yeah. Right. Previous AGM minutes. Right. I've circulated the minutes from the previous AGM. A little bit late, unfortunately, but hopefully everybody did get them.
Yeah.
Basically, what we've got is, can we agree on the previous AGM minutes?
Yes.
George?
Yes.
Yeah.
George?
Yes, if you add me as a co-decision or something.
Okay.
No problem.
Okay, right. Okay, have we got any matters arising from the last AGM minutes?
Nothing really.
No, nothing really. I think everything we said that was going to happen kind of happened. So.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. Sadly, but true.
Sadly, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll get into the reports then. I've made a bit of a chairman's report. It goes on a bit, but I'll keep it as short as I can. It's been another year of lockdowns and COVID, sadly. It's been a bit of a lean year for the club. We've got reduced membership and limited activities like photo shoots and what have you, which we've not been able to do, brought on by this dreadful COVID epidemic that we've had. At the beginning of the season, we were still restricted by the rising level of infections in the country as a whole, and it was particularly rapid in the west of England here. I suspect that was down to that testing disaster that they had, where they were testing people and that were positive and telling them they were negative. So I think that's why the west of England sort of took the brunt of a lot of these rises. But after a members' vote, the majority decision was that we'd have to start the season again with virtual meetings on Zoom and review the situation regularly, with a view to getting back in the hall for physical meetings after Christmas. We did have one experimental meeting to see how combined virtual and physical meeting could take place, and it was to a large extent successful. It was a bit flaky on the sound, but I think we can do them. We could do them. So thank you to all those who helped out, particularly George and Rob in the hall. Right. So we were reviewing regularly before Christmas with the committee, but of course just before Christmas this Omicron COVID variant hit the nation, and the infection rate started to rocket again exponentially. So in the light of the ongoing situation, the committee reviewed restarting in the hall and decided that another postponement was the sensible and the safest option. So that's where we're at the moment. Optimistically, we would still hope to have at least some sessions in the hall this season, and indeed we've got one planned for early February. So but the fluidity of the situation that we've got going at the moment will detect when and whether this will happen, really. But that'll be for Nick to have a look and see how he can fit things into the programme. On a brighter note, we did manage to get out and exhibit some prints and promote the club twice in the Shire's shopping centre. and thanks to everybody who came along and manned the stand, and it was quite good, really. I quite enjoyed it.
Cool.
Yeah, so we had plenty of members that came and helped, so that was really good. So we have staged a couple of online competitions, our points competitions, and our program manager Nick has booked us some excellent and interesting speakers so far, and he's continuing to work on the program, but I'll leave that to Nick for later. As you'll all know, we're entering the WFPC DPIC competition. That's it, isn't it? I think.
Did you repeat that again?
No. The projections competition, and it's the first time for some years we've gone in for one of these competitions, so I think that's a great thing to do. We've had some excellent images for entry, featuring a very good selection from the B group, and I think we've got one or two more from the B group going in than from the A group, actually, which is really good. So it does show the amount of talent we've got across the club. I've got all the entries, the ones we've chosen, and we've had all the edits done on them. They've been put up onto the whatever it is, WFPC site.
WCPF.
That's WCPF, yeah, dyslexic there. WCPF site, and so they're ready to go. But after we finish the meeting, I'll just run through them just so everybody can have a look at them. There's 18 entries, so it won't really take too long to go through them. Right, under these restrictive conditions, external competitions, projection competitions, are something we really can do. So when we do find them to enter, I'd urge everybody to participate, because I think, you know, we don't do enough externally, and yeah, it will promote the club, and it'll put us on the map if we do actually do well in these competitions. I can only sum up this by saying I'm sure things will improve, and hopefully we'll be back somewhere near to normal by the end of the season. And maybe we'll have a garden party in May, because that seems to be the trendy thing to do. And so
We've got to bring our own bottle.
yeah, you've got to bring your own booze, I'm afraid, you know, and it will be a works thing. So so I don't expect to have to resign over it. So on that note, I think I'll move on and go on to hand over to Evelyn for a few words as the secretary.
Right, going to be very few words, unfortunately. The membership this year has reduced considerably again from last year. This time last year we had 30 members, down from 36 the previous year. This season only started with 18, and then we gained one in November, taking us up to a total of 19. I doubt that this is a reflection of the programme at all. Nick, as Evan has said, has given us a very stimulating variety of speakers, which I believe everyone has enjoyed. Certainly haven't heard any evidence to the contrary, so thank you for that, Nick. Promoting the club, although we did have, as Kevin mentioned, a couple of events in the Shires, but we're not gaining members from this so far. But promoting the club needs to be a priority to get the numbers back up. Not just to pay for speakers, but also to pay for if and when we get back in. So with that in mind, I need to hand over to Graham. I'm afraid that's all I have for you.
Right, Graham, it's over to you.
Oh, right, yes, treasure spot, that's me. Can I start by giving a big thank you to Evelyn for all the help that she's given to the club with paying for speakers and so on her computer. I take it you've all got a copy of the accounts. There's a slight peculiarity on these in that the Western Counties membership check hasn't gone through the bank. The auditor was rather keen to set this out separately, but the way I put the accounts together, I've assumed that it had gone through, which would be sort of slightly simpler from our point of view. So on the top of the accounts, it says there's a surplus for the year, £184. That's assuming that the cheque hasn't gone through. And down the bottom, we've got a surplus of £140. That's the figure after the cheque has gone through. So, you know, I'm quite content with it, but it's, I think an accountant would have set it out slightly differently, and it does look a little bit confusing. Normally, these accounts sort of show up trends and things, and that can be very useful, but under the circumstances, they don't sort of show up any trends. And I was thinking this afternoon that I may need to get some figures out for the next sort of conventional committee meeting, showing how the figures have gone for the last sort of 4 or 5 years. I think that might be a little bit clearer to the committee members as to how we're going. Has anyone got any questions at all? I'll try and answer them.
No, I don't think so. From me, no. Just one thing: we have actually paid the WCPF.
Oh yes, the check has gone off. I put it, sent it to my first class post with one of our compliment slips in it. There's a slight oddity in that the insurance used to be paid to the Western Counties at the same time as the membership. The insurance now has to be paid direct to the insurance company, and it's due in February. So there's a note there, insurance now payable, insurance not now payable until February. It'll be due in a few weeks' time, and I shall send it off then. So, but in the meanwhile, it does look a bit odd. I did in fact phone up the insurance company to see if they could send me the invoice by post, but all the staff were working from home and they couldn't do that. So there's a slight inconsistency in that, you know, the figures aren't serious compared to last year's, but I think if you hear the fact that all the figures look a bit odd, or at least inconsistent with previous years, you know, I think we can cope with that. But
yep.
I'll try and get some figures out for the committee, ranging over sort of 4 or 5 years, and you know, we'll be able to get a better idea as to how the club stands. But at least we've got a surplus over the year of £140, which is quite encouraging.
Yep. Great.
So you know, the finance is standing up quite happily.
Right.
Right.
Anybody else got any questions for Graham?
Oh.
Right. Because Graham can't actually see the agenda, I shall say that we're now handing over to Nick.
Oh, hello.
The programme.
Thank you, Graham.
Excuse me, I think somebody needs to propose that we accept these.
Oh yes. Okay. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
Right.
a normal routine.
Okay. I'll propose that we accept the
Thank you.
treasurer's.
I'll second.
Yeah, accounts. You'll second it, Evelyn. Right. Okay. So accepted, everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Right.
Right. Okay. Done. Right. Over to you,
Over to
Nick,
me.
for the programme.
Okay.
progress
Well,
report.
hello, everyone. Yes, looking at the minutes from last year's AGM, there's not really much to add, really, other than the fact that some of the things that we sort of realised we were not going to be able to do, we haven't been able to do, and some of the things that we said we were going to do, like the key of which was going to be to have a rolling programme because of the rapidly developing situation. I don't think any of us could have envisaged that we would have had to carry that on quite as long as this, but it is an approach that I'm still using. I'm sort of planning 2-3 months at a time, which would give us the flexibility to do different things if we can get back into the hall. And as Kevin has already mentioned, that we have early February, we have an evening with Terrick, and that really is only going to work in the hall. And we thought we'd use that as a sort of a trial and see who would be interested and how many people would come into the hall, and if it's practical, and take it from there. You know, if it's quite successful and the rules have eased a bit, I can start booking in photo shoots maybe, and even some print competitions. But it's not, you know, it has been difficult to sort of make the program as varied as we can without having these sort of little things that we used to stick in, like the photo shoots, which used to precipitate a couple of other evenings where we would do a slideshow, and we would get the people who did the photo shoot back in, and it gave people you know, candidates for competitions and things. So it is a shame, but you know, we are where we are. One of the other things that we sort of advocated doing last year was to have members evenings, and I think in the main, I think they've been very successful. We've had a couple of fun competitions and opportunities for people to show their work, and I think the idea of doing that was twofold, really. Maybe, if you like, you could take the cynical view as to pad the program out, but that wasn't the primary reason. The primary reason was to try and make the club a bit more inclusive and give an opportunity for you know, the members to take part and talk about, you know, maybe their favorite photographer, and maybe show us some of their images and things. And I'd like to thank everyone that has taken part in that. And I think it's something we will continue anyway. So I think it's got quite a lot of value to the club. I have got the program up to the end of February, I think. So, you know, time is getting on. So we are going to have to make some sort of decision about how we proceed and the use of the hall. I'll sort of there's not really a panic, because this again is something that I sort of said last year, is that now that we haven't got to rely on someone coming to Trowbridge on a Thursday evening, the pool of people that we can draw on to either be judges or speakers is infinite almost. So even when people have pulled out, it has been relatively easy to find someone else at very short notice. I hope that will continue. In fact, today, quite interestingly, I remember last year I said we had some guy that was going to present to us live from the Namib Desert. He's contacted me again today saying, "Hey, what about this speaker I'm going to give from my hunting lodge?" So we can slot that one in. Maybe he's not actually in the Namib Desert. Maybe he's in Basingstoke and he's just pretending to be in the Namib Desert. We would never know. But it did sort of kind of bring home the fact that we are, you know, the world is our oyster, really. We can grab people from anywhere. So that's kind of where we are. It's an unfortunate situation. I know the membership has dwindled, and that may well be because people liked the social aspect of the club, and I think we all did, getting out of the house on a Thursday evening. But as I've already said, we are where we are. I think the club has done been enormously good that it's actually continued in some form or other, albeit slightly diminished. But I take Evelyn's point, you know, we really do need to think about how we're going to promote things and try and get more members. And that's something that I think needs to be sort of top of the agenda, really. So thank you for the kind words about the programme. I'm trying to make it different. I do proceed with it on the understanding that I can't please all the people all the time. And we are inevitably going to have some things that don't really appeal to some people. But even if you watch a speaker for an hour and a half and you think, well, that was rubbish, well, you've learned that you don't like that bit of photography, so you've kind of learned something. So anyway, that's my report. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Nick.
Okay.
Rob.
Well, I'd love to be able to say we've had great print competitions this year, but of course we haven't. And I've been feeling rather redundant again this year. I haven't been sat idle though. I did arrange and coordinate the two demonstrations we had in the Shires, so it was useful to at least do something to do with prints, the closest we got to a competition, or even handling prints, and probably the same ones that have been left in mounts since the last demonstration we did in the Shires, probably a year or two ago. So yeah, it's a shame that we really didn't get the membership out of that. I was hoping that we'd at least pull in a few. We had a bit of interest there, as Kev said, and it's just a shame it didn't materialize into new members actually from those people we spoke to then, which is a shame. Looking forward, Nick's obviously said about the programme. Hopefully, if we can get back into the hall, it would be nice to get 1 or 2 print competitions in if we can.
Yeah.
And I have loosely suggested to Nick that perhaps the idea of a triptych might be a good one if we can. So see how we go. Fingers crossed for that one, I think.
That'll be our first competition now, the triptych. Yeah.
Yeah, great. And the other thing is, obviously, I've still been helping Kevin with the website. We've done some amendments. I won't steal his thunder on this one because he's probably going to mention about it, but we have done some updates to the website this year, and so I've been helping out with that. So I haven't been sat idle, but I am looking forward to getting back to actually doing some print competitions again and actually busying myself.
Yep.
Thank you.
Totally agree.
Right, great. Over to you, Jeff, as projection secretary.
Okay, well, I got very little to say other than repeating what you were saying, really, about what year that was. Anyway, despite COVID, it was another year that I've enjoyed being a member of the club, and I do actually like the Zoom presentation for the DPI competitions. I think it's good to be able to see the images bright and contrasty. It's always a little bit variable in the hall. Having said that, I'm missing the print competitions too, not least of which I bought myself a fancy printer just after COVID started, and I have to print something on it every so often just to keep the inks lubricated and the heads free. Anyway. Entries held up pretty well through last year. We had between 60 and 70 images for each competition, which I thought was pretty good. And we've started this year with 60 for the first competition, which is encouraging given the lower membership. That's about all, really. Not much else to say.
Well, thank you.
Oh, excellent. Right, well, thank you very much for that, Jeff. And it's back to me as webmaster as well as chairman to say a few words about the website. We had a new website for this season, and modesty apart from Rob, he's been an absolute he's been invaluable. He's put a huge amount of work in to help me construct it and update it, and much of the design is down to him. So he put together, really, as I say, the design of the website, and I think he did a very good job with it. He's far more artistic than I am. So thank you very much, Rob. We've incorporated a members area, which we'll continue to develop, but as luck would have it, we're having a few problems this week with it. And with what's been going on, I haven't managed to get to the bottom of it yet, but hopefully by the weekend, I shall have the members area sorted out. The domain name for the club is now settled as trowbridgecc.co.uk, and in the future, I know we have 2 domain names, but I'll look to drop the trowbridgecc.uk one because I don't think people will be using that as much.
Can you say that again? What's the one we use now?
trowbridgecc.co.uk.
trowbridgecc.co.uk. Yeah. What?
And we also have another domain which is without the .co in the middle, so it's trowbridgecc.uk.
Oh right. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I got that.
But the one we're using is going to have the .co.uk.
Yeah, yeah. The reason for it is that when I took over as webmaster, our last webmaster owned the trowbridgecc.co.uk domain name, and we couldn't use it. So
right.
What I did was registered the trowbridgecc.uk so that we had a domain name that actually went with the club and worked for us. But that was 2 years ago, nearly 3 now. So we've had the trowbridgecc.co.uk domain name for over 2 years now, and I think it's settled on that. So, but of course, before I get rid of the other one, I should make sure everybody knows. And we are moving up the, or we seem to have moved quite, that domain has moved quite far up on the Google search engine, which is very nice to know. So, so when you type in Trowbridge Camera Club, you'll you'll get a link to our correct site, much higher up in the ranking. Of course, Trowbridge CC is also used by Trowbridge Cricket Club. So
bastards.
Yeah, I think
We were there first.
there.
1864.
It's not cricket, is it?
Yeah.
No, it's just not cricket. But okay, so so that concludes what I have to say on the website. If anybody's got any questions,
Don't forget to mention we have made it more mobile friendly as well now, Kev.
Yes.
Thanks,
So
Laura.
it works on mobiles now, and actually we've also stressed it to fill the screens a bit. If you are using wide screens, we've actually I think Jeff, following Jeff's comment, we've put some modifications in there so it doesn't stretch it to full width of a wide screen. So there is a few, yeah, you can see it quite clearly on most sort of displays now, and probably increase the font size as well.
Rob,
Yes.
is it possible for you to make all the same? Because depending on where you are, the font changes. There's like on one screen, 3 different fonts being used.
Shouldn't be.
And I
will
think
check
on the
it.
banner image, there's also,
we'll
it looks like the burger icon, but it's like a static image.
What, that menu button you mean?
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
like 2,
I pointed
but one
that to
doesn't.
Kev the other day, and we don't know what that's all about because it doesn't do anything.
yeah,
Yeah.
we'll have a look at that, Laura, and
Yeah.
and we'll take it out of the meeting and we'll chat to you about it, because yeah, you know you can see it, you can see it on the mobile end quite well. So so we'll get that fixed. So so definitely, but thanks for the feedback.
I will check out that. I have sort of tried to maintain the same font throughout, but we'll have a look at that again then.
Right, okay, thanks for that, Rob. Yeah, I did forget to mention that, and that's very good points. Thank you very much. Okay, could we now talk about the 2 proposals that we have this this year? The first one is for a new secretary's post. So if you bear with me for a moment, I'll just fire up my close it. Sorry about this, I managed to close the window on it. So proposal, I've got mine. Right, so we've got 2 proposals. The first proposal is to revive the and recruit the committee post of external competition secretary for battles and competitions. As I said earlier, I think it's very important that we start to enter external competitions, and that and we can use that on, we can do that on an individual basis and on a club basis. So, but it does take a little bit of work to actually manage this, and really we need somebody who's responsible for it on the committee. So as you've probably seen from the circulated Word document I put with the proposals on them, the responsibilities will be manage the external competitions, assist in appointing, engaging the judges for any that we host, receive and collate entries, liaise with the competition organisers, and put the competition entries in, and participate on the committee as well to help shape the club. So it's a good opportunity to get involved at the committee level on the club and contribute to it, and it's not too onerous. So we're looking for a volunteer or a nomination for the position who would be prepared to accept it. And of course, everybody in the committee will help out to if there's any problems, or if anybody who's a little bit inexperienced in doing this kind of thing, then we do have some experience in the committee. So and everybody on the committee is willing to help everyone else out. It's we do have a very good committee at the moment. So what I would say is, if I could make this proposal that we revive this post and recruit to it, so I'm proposing the motion.
Okay, I'll second it.
Right, and if
Great.
yeah, and if we could have a vote on it. So let's, yeah. So yeah, I think we have a majority there. So to the club as a whole, have a think about it, and if anybody wants to or can volunteer for this, please do. We do need someone. Okay, so that was the new secretary post over. The second proposal is a change to the group setup for competitions. Now I hope you all have a look at this, because there is a little bit of not, well, I wouldn't say complexity, but detail in it that we need really to discuss. And what's been put together for the proposal is that we allocate at the moment we've got no way of sensibly moving up and down between the two A and B groups and evening out the numbers in the two. And what that's leading to is an imbalance in the numbers in each of the group, and also certain disheartenment sometimes within one or other of the groups where you find that the competition might be maybe awkward for you, or maybe you feel less able in one group than the other. So in order to do this, what we've proposed is that we formalise the way the actual groups are arranged based on the points score in the competitions in the previous season. So the idea would be that we get a list of members, we arrange them in points order, we would set a cut around about the halfway point, where the higher scoring members would be placed in Group A and the lower scoring members in Group B. This really does not reflect the talent of the members involved. It affects the number of points that they have managed to gain. So if somebody's entering all the points, all the competitions, they're going to move up the rankings. So they are more likely to end up in the A group when they score points. Similarly, if someone doesn't enter competitions, then they will move down in the rankings. And of course, because they're not entering competitions, they might end up in the B group, but they will be pose less of a competition to the B group members who really do want to enter competitions, if that makes sense. So the idea is we have a cut on a halfway point. And of course, this inevitably results in membership movement between the groups each year. Jeff has done a proposal and he's prepared the example that we've circulated in the table below, just to see how it would have worked this year had we implemented it at the last AGM. So it's purely an example. Nobody's going to be moved for it, but it's just to show you what would happen. And I think personally, I would urge you to accept the proposal, because I think it will sort the groups out, and it will give us a nice clean set of rules.
And it'll incentivise getting into competitions as well, which is good.
I quite agree. Yeah.
Yep, I support that.
Sounds like a good plan.
Yeah. Okay. So,
I would rather not.
okay.
The reason being, someone like
Yes. Sorry,
myself would move up into Group A. They would then not score any points, because there's always a couple of people in Group A who always score the points, and then next season I would just move down again, and then I would score points and I would move up, and I would basically just
Well, that might be true for everyone, I suppose.
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
happy or win nothing and then have to move.
Yeah, I think. Oh, hello, we've lost you. Hello, we lost you.
No, it's on mute.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Just me.
I think that's a case. I think that's a
Again.
case, Laura, that could happen to any one of us. But I think you may be. I think you might be sort of being a little over modest on your talents for someone like yourself. And I think you should have more confidence in possibly your own ability, because from my point of view, you're an extremely good photographer. So, you know, without being too sycophantic about it, I think you don't have to be afraid of the fact that you won't get to the top of the table. I don't think there's a we do have some very good photographers at the top of the table, but I mean, in the year before COVID, just to give you an example, I walked away with most of the trophies myself. The following 2 years, I was down the ratings, because I felt that the competitions, I was started taking photographs for myself, and perhaps the judges didn't like them as much as I felt they should. And it's one of the it's one of the problems with camera club judges.
I always feel like that.
I've had the same problem this season, Kev.
Yeah. So I would say I wouldn't worry too much about moving up and down in the groups, because the level of expertise in the groups is very well balanced at the moment. So, but of course, feel free to vote on the proposal in which way you like, really. It is the way that quite a few other clubs operate. We have had a look, and they operate their groups in a similar manner, a much more strict movement between groups, and a defined way of doing it. So would somebody propose the new rule change on groups?
I will.
Okay, Paul. And could we have a seconder on that, please?
Yeah.
Right. Thank you, Tarek. And could we have a vote on it, please?
Obvious.
Right.
In favour?
We have, let me do a count on this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Laura? We have 14. And
Carried.
yeah.
Well, I'm not for it, but that's not going to change my mind. But yeah.
Yeah, no, not at all. No, I wasn't expecting you. I just wanted to know to know how you'd vote on it. So okay, so that
We'll all be in the same boat though, and it does,
yeah.
and it also for people in the Group A that are always at the bottom, feeling a bit disheartened by it all. It's it works in their favour as well. So it does work both ways, and it would only be for 12 months of worst case anyway, Laura. So if you didn't do that well, you'd be back down in the other group anyway.
Yeah. So I think we actually have a majority on this one for.
And just presumably it would be reviewed from time to time to see how it was working.
Oh, indeed.
Yeah, I think you've got to give it a trial.
Yeah, I quite agree.
Tried.
Yeah, that's important, Laura. With any change to, we must review and we must monitor how it's working.
Personally, Kevin, I think it's a benefit to the beginners more than the advanced.
Yeah.
I mean, all of our, well, I guess we're all in the same thing, enter competitions to improve. So ultimately, that's what you're trying to do, isn't it? Yeah. Improve, and one of the ways is to move up into the upper group. All right, you might not do so well in it, first time around. Try again another time then.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it's trying to improve.
Yeah. So yeah, we've carried that proposal. So that will now become part of the rules, but we will agree to review the rules on a regular basis and monitor exactly how things are working. So
Yeah, This will start at the beginning of the new season
This will start at the beginning of the new season. Yeah.
and be reviewed for that one season, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it'll be reviewed through the season, George.
Okay.
And when does that begin?
At the beginning, what, the new season?
Mhm.
That begins in September.
Is it September?
Yeah, it's usually the first week of September that we start the new season. So nothing will happen this season. So it will start from the beginning of next season.
So does that need to go into the constitution, or is it just into the competition rules? How does that work? Where do we?
Yeah, that's where we put it. It's well, it goes into the competition rules, Rob, and then it's formalised and from this meeting. So this AGM, agreed at this AGM. So okay, happy with that. Thank you very much, everybody. Could we now move on to the election of committee members? As in last year and as in several years before, the committee members are willing to stand for the committee again. So,
Well, in that case, can I propose that that's accepted and the committee members are thanked for what they're doing and thanked for doing the same next year or this year?
Yeah, I'd second that.
Can I just say, is there room for anybody else if they would wish to be on it?
there is room for someone else to come onto it. Yes, I believe we can get another committee member on.
Any more female voices out there? Hello.
Volunteers are always welcome.
No.
Yeah. And especially as we do have a vacancy for for the external competitions person on the committee, so we would very much like to fill that one.
And we don't mind what your gender is, anything.
We don't care. You can be LGBT plus anything you like. I don't mind. I have no prejudice at all. So yes, indeed, any gender. But it is nice to have a balance of gender on the committee, and thank you to the ladies that are on the committee for being there. It's always refreshing. and
keep you in line.
Yeah, you're never backward.
Very true.
Very true. So yeah, we do have a space should anybody wish to volunteer. So thank you for that proposal, Tarek, and thank you for seconding it, Alan. Could we have a vote on it, please? Accepting the committee. Yeah. Difficult for us because we are the committee. That's great. Thank you, everyone, for that.
Thank you.
Right. Okay. So that's really good. I haven't lost anybody. That's the good thing. And of course, Graham's on the phone, and he's being very quiet. But
yeah, I'm still here.
But we really don't want to lose you, Graham. I'm telling you that. Nobody wants to lose you, and it'll be nice to get back in the hall and see you there.
Yes.
So thank you very much for doing the treasurer's job. It's absolutely invaluable. Right.
It's not been that complicated this year.
No, it would be complicated for me, I assure you. Right, can we?
If you saw what was involved, you wouldn't say that.
Yes. Right. Can we now move on to any other business? Has anybody got anything else they would like to bring up?
Oh. The only thing I was going to say there is, I didn't know what to say there on the when you did your webmaster thing, was obviously one of the things you and I spoke about, because I've been stalking other Camera Club websites to see if we're missing anything off of ours. The only thing I thought of was I've seen on some other ones is like tutorials, or if there's anybody got any particular issues, whether it's technical or on any aspect of photography, where we could put together some either tutorials with like potentially videos, but certainly with screenshots and just something to help members who may be struggling with certain aspects.
Good
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah, it's a great idea you had there, Rob, and yeah, we did discuss it, and it's a good place to bring it up here. So yeah, so if anybody has got any ideas for articles, feeling like they could be a budding author for us,
I'm sure we've got enough people within the club and on the committee that probably be able to put something together.
yeah, yeah, and it would make the website,
then.
yeah, it would make the website more interesting and
Yeah.
possibly get us a few more hits on it. So so that would so if anybody does feel they have something they can contribute in that way, and of course we'll help you out with it. You won't be asked to write web pages or anything like that if you or you will if you if you feel you can. You know, you'll be more than welcome to be shown how to do it. If you can do it already, then that's great. But as far as any training in putting web pages together, then I've done a bit of web stuff in the past, and Rob is pretty good at it as well now. So you know, we can handhold anybody for to make the web pages look good. So please come to any of us and say, yep, I can do that. We'll
Or equally, I've got you know, asking about if you want or need any help, you know, so and we can come up with something to you know, for your benefit.
Are you happy to be telephoned rather than emailed, or just want everything but email?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you can telephone us. It's no problem. The numbers are all. I think we've got access to all the numbers. So and I always put my phone number on a lot of the email correspondence that I send out. So yeah, sure. We'll take telephone calls, and it's always nice to chat, isn't it?
After competitions, are we able to put the first, second, third pictures somewhere so people can see who came first, second, and third in both groups?
Funnily enough, Rob.
Nice idea.
Why not?
You're muted, Rob.
Muted, Rob.
Sorry, I keep shutting myself up. They're on the website already, Laura. In the digital competitions we've got, you mean?
Yeah, I've not noticed that.
Yeah, where if you click down into each of the individual
I'm sorry.
competitions, you'll see the scores and the winning photos, or well, not just the winning ones, but all the awarded photos are listed on for each competition.
Yeah, if you're having trouble getting into it now, that's
okay.
If you're having trouble getting into it now, that's because we got a little bit of a problem with the website, as I said earlier.
Oh,
you know,
you have, Kev. I've got in there again tonight. I've just looked just now. I'm in.
Yeah,
so it must be you.
Well, it's Jeff as well.
I think the way they do it is very satisfactory.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, look at it. And, yeah, Andrew.
If you're trying to attract people, a lot of those images are actually in the members area, so no one other than members can see them.
Right. Okay. It's a good point. It's a good point. Could do that, couldn't we?
Winners.
Publish them on.
We've got.
Sorry.
We have
put them in the members and the open.
Yeah.
We have got, and the other thing that's I think it's only got a few, probably 3 of us are putting in there. We've also got members gallery as well, which so if anybody's got any images they'd like to just put up on the website, you know, a selection of your best images, you can send them in and we can put them up there. I think I put some up myself, and I think Paul and Jill have put some up there. So there's that as well, which is you know, that is open for people to see at the moment.
So do we send that to you? Or
yes,
Kevin,
or me or Kevin, and we can upload them to the website as well as a gallery. Yeah, I'll say you know, not too many. Probably, I mean, I think we've got maybe dozen pictures or something like that each, if you wanted.
Yep.
So we don't overload the website. We are limited for size on it.
Yeah.
But would it be an idea to change them occasionally? So maybe.
Yeah. You can swap them out now and again. So it's not always the same ones.
You know, so have a review after 6 months or something, and takes a couple off and put a couple new ones. So we've always got a
rolling thing. Yep, good idea.
I don't know.
And, yeah, that's a good idea. And if you're submitting them to members' galleries, then you know, come and say, got some new photos here. ditch those and put these in instead. So yeah, that's a good idea as well. But I mean, just come to us and ask, and we'll get them up there for you. So that'd be great. But yep.
I can't remember why we the winning images, we just put them on the members area.
Nothing to do with copyright, unless they've got a copyright sign on them.
We've got that on the website anyway. You can't right click and copy any of the images off the website. We set that up so that won't happen. You can't even copy any text on the website. So that's fully protected.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem to work for me at the moment, but you said there was an issue. It's giving me an error.
Yeah, there is an issue with it, Laura, and so I will be looking at that.
So it's not just you
then. Yeah, it's not just me. You're right, Laura. You know, I'm sure there is something wrong there, so I'll sort that out. And if you don't mind, could I use you just as a bit of a tester occasionally, just to go in and have a look for me?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that'd be great. Because yeah, so but as I say, I'll get onto that. I'll start getting onto that tomorrow now. The business of the AGM and what have you that I've been running around with is sort of wound down now. So right, well, thank you for that. That was worth talking about. So has anybody else got any other business?
No.
No.
Right, great. I'd like now to close the meeting. Thank you all. And we will put out the minutes of the meeting. Evelyn will put out the minutes of the meeting, and obviously you're free to comment on the minutes so that we get them right before next year. Thank you very much. Before we all go, what I want to do is run through the images that we're going to put into the competition. The WPCF competition, DPIC. Yeah, WCPF, DPIC. Yeah. So what I'll do is if everybody wants to look, that's what they do. Unfortunately, Graham, I've got no way of showing them to you.
We've described them for you. Close caption.
I'll have to remain in a state of ignorance.
Yeah, okay, right. What were you saying, Nick?
I said we could just describe them.
We could describe them to you, yes. That'll be quite good, actually. We'll do that.
Maybe not. Maybe that'll make the evening too long. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Sorry about that, chaps. There it is.
There's a cat invaded.
It's all right.
It's a paid-up member.
Yeah, yes. The first one I put on the screen, which I'm now going to display the screen. When I put it up, I hadn't shared the screen, fortunately, because the first one I put up, I put one upside down. So I'll now do a screen share with everybody so you can see it. So where's my screen share? Share screen.
How many are there?
There are 18, because that's as many as we're allowed to put in. Yeah. Oh my God, wrong screen.
Careful.
Why is that not gone?
What's that linked to? Oh.
There we go. Right. Okay.
Hooray.
There we go. This is the first one. We're allowed to put in up to 5 nature ones.
That's nice.
We have only got 3 nature ones actually, but we could put up to 5, and I think putting an extra 2 that are not nature is probably a good idea, because we'll have more opportunity in with the other ones. So but this is a fabulous shot of a woodpecker in the rain, and we have it was myself and Nick and Tarek that did the selections on this, and we all have this one. So yeah, beautiful. That one is
Richard Blackburn.
That's Richard, yes, Richard Blackthorne, yeah. Right, so we'll go back. This is the White House. Particularly atmospheric shot, really nice.
Beautiful.
Nice mono. and a beautiful little waterfall to the right hand side, if you see it just there, which just nicely draws the eye, just a little bit of secondary interest. Beautiful shot. That one's one of Andrew's, I believe. The next one is the reggae singer, and this is a really nice shot, really nicely lit and detailed and sharp as anything, and caught just at a nice moment. So that one's one of Evelyn's. So very nice. Swanage Old Pier. We looked at this and we thought it's possibly a bit of a cliche shot because it has been on covers of magazines. This actual scene been on covers of magazines and in various things, but you know, in publications or what have you. But the rendering of this is so good, and it's such a nice shot. And
who's that, Kev?
that is help me out here, Jeff. Whose is that one?
Is that was one of yours, Graham?
Yeah, it's mine.
Yeah,
No,
I
that's
thought it was
Graham.
Graham,
Yes, it was. Yeah, it's one of yours, Graham. Now I know the other one of yours now because I just emailed you. But it is such a well rendered and well done version of this photograph that we just have.
Particularly good rendering of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So we just have to put it in. It really is good.
Well composed.
Yeah. Yeah.
The light was kind. I'll say that.
Yes. I think as Tarek said, he said, I think when they built that old pier, they had this in mind.
Yeah. So people can photograph it. Yeah.
Definitely.
Everybody photograph it.
Definitely.
When it falls down, you know.
There must have been a photographer.
Yeah. Okay, we'll come back to the next one. This one's called Steps, and yeah, I wonder why. But it's a nice, simple, really well composed image.
Simple, well seen, well composed.
Yeah, excellent image, and that's Rob Hillman. So very nice, Rob. Good. So we've got another one of Richard Blackthorne's, which is another one of the nature ones. And this is a Scots owl, apparently. But really nice, sharp shot on the eye. Bit unusual through the grass as well. So it's
very good.
Yeah,
very good.
Yeah, so we really like this one. And you know, all that out of focus stuff around it, and then that really sharp focus on the owl itself, and just
beautiful.
Yeah,
and how the grass mirrors its ears, which is good.
The eyes are superb.
Yeah, as Nick said, the grass mirroring its ears next to it, which
the exposure's good as well.
Yeah, and
I think birds is one of his specialities.
Yeah, he is quite good at it, isn't he?
Yeah.
Well, that's an outstanding image, that one.
It is, isn't it? It's a lovely image. So right, next one. I think is another one of yours, Graham. Yeah, and again, we really appreciated the light on this.
Beautiful lighting.
Yeah, marvelous lighting.
Beautiful lighting.
And Tarek pointed out that you moved and got into just the right angle to separate the two rocks.
Yeah, I think that little bit of separation makes it between those two stacks.
Yeah, so that makes the photo. You know, if you were just to the left a little bit, that would really take away from the from what you've got here now. But you got it right. So
thank you.
This one is quite striking, geometrical, nice angle, nice monochrome.
Super pattern picture.
Yep. And one of the things we did say is that, and I was guilty of this as well, when we actually got the image, there was a slight flare on it. But so we sent it back to Jill, who took the photo, to take the flare out, which she did very successfully, because you can't see anything on it now, can we? And it's just it's really nicely done and made it a perfect picture now. So well done, Jill. It's really nice. Now you can guess who this one was again, Richard. But
good job he's here, really.
Yeah, but again, we went back to Richard with this. It was a slightly wider shot, and we asked him to do a closer crop on it, and he did a good job on it. And it's such a beautifully sharp shot of a nuthatch, and you know, all the right parts of the picture are sharp. All the other parts of the picture are nicely, you know, nicely out of focus, and really nice background. Nothing distracting in there, so it's a lovely shot. So that went in. This is Andrew's, and it's just lovely lighting. It's well, do you want to say something about this, Tarek? Tarek?
Yeah, to me, it's one of those shots which there's no way you can settle on, but that's the idea of the shot. What I do like about it is that roadway at the bottom, because it's something that the whole photograph can sit on. And I think without that, you haven't got a picture. But it's just that roadway at the bottom. There's 2 or 3 cars on there moving and a few parked cars. But the whole photograph tends to sit on that. And it's one of those pictures that you can look at and you find something different every time you see it. I quite like that.
Yeah,
would make a good jigsaw puzzle.
It would make a fantastic jigsaw.
It would make a beautiful jigsaw.
Yeah, yeah, it would.
Have it done in 1,000 pieces. I'll have a copy.
You might not live long enough to do it, actually.
Take a bio. Oh gosh.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
The landscape, beautiful landscape.
Yeah, we won't embarrass we won't embarrass the photographer this one, but it is Jeff.
That rock in the middle of the river is crucial.
Yeah. This is a fantastic landscape shot, just marvelous, and it was a competition winner as well, and you can understand why. And we're hoping it's going to be another competition winner because it's just perfect. It's a
lovely lighting.
Yeah.
Lovely lighting.
Yeah, and the reflections are just sublime, aren't they? So, but there we go. So great, that was Jeff's. And here we go.
That's a cliched shot. It's been done so many times before.
Yeah.
But it's a good one. It works.
Yeah.
I think the low camera angle.
Yeah.
You've got a really low camera angle. I think that the bottom edges have been darkened in just enough. Any more of that and it would have killed the picture. But no. And also it's a very slow shutter speed.
Yeah. Which
I think helped it in this case.
Yeah. That's another one of Andrew's, I believe, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a very nice shot, Andrew.
Yeah.
And tell us how to say it, will you? Lake Rotoiti, is it? Right. Yeah, Lake Rotoiti Jetty, it's entitled. So yeah, very nice monochrome. We're trying to get a few monochromes in. And we've got a street shot. We've got a street shot here.
Full of interest.
From Jeff, and it's got everything going for it as a street shot. Tells the story, well, tells several stories.
The leading guys, the 2 guys at the front, their expressions are incredible. The bloke on the right, he's posing for the camera, but the other one doesn't know what to make of it. He's, you know, is he really taking that photograph or is he not? You know, I'm sure he ain't got a film in the camera.
I mean, I said at the time, you know, Steve McCurry, who takes a lot of photos like this, if this was in one of his books, you'd think, well, what another shot by a world famous photographer, but it's just got everything in it. There's nothing to fault it. It's just perfect.
Yeah. So
I wish I took it.
Yeah.
One day when you Google the word street photography, this picture will come up.
Indeed, yeah. So super shot, Jeff. Well done.
Even down, I mean, even little tiny bits on that photograph, such as that, it looks like a prayer mat in a way, being folded over at the end.
Yeah.
Gives that a little bit of interest, and it's full of what's on the table in the background and things like that. It's full of interest, that picture.
Great. Yeah. Yep. So we like that. So,
socks with sandals as well. Oh, I don't know.
Oh God, sorry. Let's go back one and get this one first.
That really humorous.
Brilliant.
We thought this was a really humorous shot.
Yeah,
it was great fun.
Can I ask, did you put that clear leg there deliberately? Because it's to me, it's crucial to the picture. I think that makes a picture, to be honest with you. I think it's super.
Yeah, that's one of Laura's. And yeah, it is.
There won't be another one like that in the competition, that's for sure.
There won't be. No, it'll be the only one like that in the competition.
Yeah. So yeah. So well done for that one, Laura. It's great. That's great. And we have another one of Laura's next, which is
beautifully taken.
Beautifully taken. It's a lovely, striking picture, isn't it?
The angle is perfect.
Yeah.
The colours are great. Just enough in the sky.
Yeah. So
and there's nothing on the bridge that takes your attention away from the bridge.
Yeah.
What I mean, there are no moving shadows on the bridge or anything like that that can take your attention away from that bridge, which I find is beautiful.
And the nice leading lines, like the other jetty.
Lovely leading lines.
Lovely leading lines into the thing. So again, you know, we thought that was right. The next two, I'm not going to say anything about.
I think we both said that there might be other ones in the same idea as this, but how many of them have got that crown on the top? Exactly. That to me makes this picture. The sharpness of the crown, well, I call it a crown, it isn't, which the sharpness of the top spot, and I think it's caught at the absolute, well, Cartier-Bresson.
Yeah, thank you, Derek. It's one of mine. That's why I was saying nothing.
Decisive moment.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's a specialist thing, and it's, you know, you're looking to be different, and it's not impossible, but maybe unlikely that there'll be another photo like that.
There's not going to be another one like that.
No, exactly.
I will admit it is technically difficult to get this, and I've done a few. So
can I say, before you take it off, there's one little feature on that which, when I first saw it, I thought to myself, Christ, what a beauty. But my book there changed all of a sudden. If you look at that, between the two spots, there are 3 or 4 little highlights, and 1 or 2 of them have got red in them and things like that. And I thought, get rid of them. But now I'm saying, no, don't get rid of them, because they are light shining through the bead.
Yeah.
If you understand me. I changed my mind on that one. I 3 or 4 viewings.
Right, if we move on to the next one, and this one's one of mine as well.
I think that did improve it.
Yeah. This was one that went back to the photographer, me. My original had very bright red on the snowmobiles, which Tarek and Nick felt that were distracting from the what we were really trying to look at, which is the Northern Lights in the background.
Yeah, I think initially it was a picture of vehicles with the aurora. Now it's a picture of the aurora with a few vehicles.
Yeah, and it's
I think it's improved.
And you've anonymized them by taking the label off as well, the name of the.
Yeah. So you weren't drawn to the writing on them. Yeah. So yeah, that's Chasing the Aurora is my title on that one. And the final one is really quite striking. That sort of hits you, doesn't it?
It has been improved. There is still a little bit of brightness in it, but it's considerably better. I think it's a lovely pattern. Lovely pattern. Okay, it's been done before. That's Glasgow, but it's been done before with the Australian. But
Yeah,
the patterns are beautiful.
But that one's Jeff's. And, yeah, it's really good. It's really good. And as I say, it's striking. It's one of those things that leaps out at you. So that's great. So,
great.
So that's the 18, chaps. So
excellent.
Good set there.
Well done.
So good luck for us with that.
Good luck. And can I say, Kevin, that my compliments to everybody, whether it wins or whether it doesn't matter. You've entered, you've enjoyed entering. Let's do it again. I know I didn't put anything in, I'm a print man, but it's been a terrific exercise for the club.
Yeah.
Doing a thing like this, and I think it's beneficial to the club, and we ought to think about doing it again.